Our real world test car this week is the Mazda 3, and it's got three things: beauty, budget, and it's a blast to drive.
The biggest change for the 2021 Mazda 3 is the powertrain. Kingsley Aduma is the vehicle line manager for the Mazda 3.
The Mazda 3 Turbo will be equipped with the Skyactiv G 2.5 turbo powertrain, coupled with the Skyactiv dynamic systems, including the iActive all-wheel drive with GVC Plus. The Mazda 3 will provide a more confident experience behind the wheel. These performance enhancements will allow Mazda 3 to become more competitive versus more established premium brands, and allow the driver to have a more confidence in all driving environments. Versus the premium car competitors, the Mazda 3 2.5 Turbo delivers greater power at a competitive starting price.
The all wheel drive trim comes with a lot of premium features, especially for a car in this price range.
The 2.5 Turbo model comes standard with a variety of convenience features, including the 12-speaker Bose premium audio and the power tilt and slide moonroof. But the true pleasure of the Mazda 3 Turbo is the Skyactiv G 2.5 turbo engine and the Skyactiv dynamic systems. The Premium Plus package delivers an enhanced driving experience by adding segment-leading advanced technology.
Astute viewers may notice that this review started in Washington, but since a certain rally was scheduled for the Capitol the next day, I figured it might be a good time to drive out of the city to the Jersey Shore instead of trying to test the car in the midst of what turned out to be a civil disturbance of historic significance. While driving from the nation's capital to my shore house, I really appreciated the 227 horsepower 2.5 liter Skyactiv turbo that generates 310 pound feet of torque. The crisp handling in the city and on the highway is due in part to something called, not kidding here, minimum jerk theory. Dave Coleman of Mazda explains.
We actually see a pattern in every human motion that's captured overall in this umbrella called minimum jerk theory.
Coleman has an in depth explanation involving math that had me looking for a yellow highlighter and an abacus, or was it a slide rule? Anyway, Coleman and his engineers figured all this stuff out by attaching sensors to the neck of test drivers and measuring the electrical impulses in their muscles, which basically results in a car that makes the driver feel one with the machine.
We know that when the driver makes a steering input, their muscles are going to make that steering input. Their input is going to follow this minimum jerk acceleration, so they're going to accelerate the steering wheel in this certain way. And when they are bracing their body against the G-forces, their body wants to, the muscles that have to tense up on one side of your body and on the side of your neck to balance your head, they want to accelerate in this same way, ideally. So we want to use this knowledge of the human body to set a target for how the car's steering response should behave. When the driver makes this input, the vehicle should respond so that the driver's balancing muscles can react in this way. And that's how we use this sort of deep understanding of human beings to set a vehicle dynamics target. The way we're doing it now is really trying to study more deeply the human side of that human-car interaction. So we can understand what the car needs to do to work with humans at a fundamental level.
The turbo, combined with all-wheel drive and intuitive handling, makes the Mazda 3 both a great city car, small enough to maneuver through traffic and easy to park, but also a fun highway cruiser with plenty of pep to get away from drifting drivers who seem more interested in their smartphone than being smart behind the wheel. Speaking of behind the wheel, the infotainment interface is great. No more fingerprints on the display screen. The combination of a control wheel plus some knobs and buttons, including a programmable one for your favorite setting, make the 2021 Mazda 3 an intuitive modern car that doesn't overwhelm the driver with touchscreen technology that's more likely to get you into the trunk of the car in front of you rather than your desired destination. On the topic of desired destination, the navigation system has real-time traffic, or you can use Apple CarPlay and punch up your Waze or other favorite navigation app. I wouldn't buy a car today that didn't have either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Other technology unusual for a car at this price point is a color heads-up display that even warns you when a stop sign is coming up. Not so much of a problem in the winter in the Northeast, but it's a nice safety feature in the spring when overgrown shrubs and trees tend to obscure traffic signs. Speaking of stopping, the all-wheel drive Mazda 3 Turbo also has rear cross traffic alert with automatic braking, which is just what it sounds like. The car does its best to prevent you from backing out into the path of an oncoming car. The heated seats actually heat up enough for people with back pain, and the heated steering wheel is a great convenience on cold mornings or for those who have arthritis in their hands. Don't judge. Lots of people of varying ages have arthritis. Don't be smug. The premium Bose stereo system sounded great to me, although admittedly I have a tin ear and I'm partially deaf, but the Mazda folks are promoting it, so I'm guessing I'm not the only one who thinks it sounds good. I'd sample some Springsteen here, but YouTube would automatically lock this review for copyright violations. Just test drive one and blast some Bruce. You'll thank me later. The driver's seat is power, but the front passenger seat is not. The moonroof is small, but the trunk is large. But the biggest thing about the 2021 Mazda 3 Turbo is the performance. 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds, according to Motor Trend. That's in a loaded all-wheel drive sedan that comes in at a shade under $34,000. The EPA considers the Mazda 3 a compact car and rates the mileage at 23 in the city and 32 on the highway. Impressively, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration gives the Mazda 3 an overall 5-star crash safety rating. That means 5 stars for a front crash, 5 stars for a side crash, and even 5 stars for a rollover. As a rule, I try not to test those attributes if at all possible. The all-wheel drive Turbo is also available as a hatchback, which is more of a lifestyle choice for those who carry a lot of sports or camping gear. If you're wondering about the all-wheel drive system, I'll give you my opinion here. Even if I didn't live in an area that gets a lot of snow, I doubt I will ever buy a car again that only has two-wheel drive. I find that the computerized distribution of power to all 4 wheels makes the driving experience more stable on wet pavement as well as dry curves without the torque steer common in high-powered front-wheel drive cars or the fishtail-prone characteristics of muscular rear-wheel drive cars. But that's just my opinion.
If you're enjoying these reviews, and I really hope you are, make sure to subscribe to Real World Test Drive on YouTube and follow me on Twitter at Grant Winter. For Real World Test Drive, I'm Grant Winter reporting from Spring Lake, New Jersey.